The Bungie we all used to know and love is gone. They're long gone. They've been gone for a while now. But the question is, can this new Bungie create something amazing? Something on the level of Halo? Well, you all probably know the answer to that one already, because we're going to talk about Marathon.
Oh yeah, baby!
I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and if you enjoy this content, give it a like, comment, and of course, subscribe. But we're here to talk about Marathon, specifically the free-to-play server slam of the game that just recently released. Unfortunately, moving from Thursday into the weekend didn't see a boost in the numbers. It saw a substantial drop. Went from about 147,000 to currently about 60-some thousand. That's a drop of over 50%, going from a weekday where many people are working and doing other things into the weekend where you would hope or expect it should increase if the game's good. Also consider that Marathon is going to release in March for $40. That's right, you actually have to pay to get your foot in the door. So this is not a free-to-play game. The server slam is free, but the game itself is going to be $40. Is it worth paying $40 for this game? Well, so far, the reactions and reviews seem to be anywhere from mediocre to really negative. In fact, for the most part, I see people saying negative things about the game more than anything else. There are a few characters out there trying to push this game as being amazing, one of the biggest ones being the infamous streamer Burnt Peanut, but I think we all know that when you're being paid to stream a game, you're essentially being sponsored to do it. You're an influencer, not a reviewer. One of the very first things you'll notice about Marathon as soon as you boot the game up is that it has a very confusing, complex, and convoluted interface. That's right, the three C's, the three deadly C's: confusing, complex, and convoluted. Many people have complained that they don't understand exactly how to navigate these menus and what is what, and I found that to be the case for me. I would be told that there was a reward waiting for me, but when I dug into those menus trying to find the reward, I couldn't find it. Maybe I already had it, but I couldn't tell if I did, and I couldn't tell where it was if I didn't. Adding to that, I would be told that my loadout is not complete. I'm missing equipment, so I would go to the loadout menu and I would try to figure out what it is I'm missing, and I couldn't. I kept trying to drag icons to other locations, double-clicking, doing all sorts of things, trying to figure out how am I supposed to complete this loadout. I actually couldn't figure it out and just decided to play the game without the full loadout. Another thing that should strike you right off the bat is that the game has oddly gaudy and colorful visuals. A lot of people have pointed this out, commenting that they don't know why it's this bright and cheery, kind of colorful looking. I would actually describe it as an FPS, a Fisher-Price shooter, because these are Fisher-Price colors. They look like Legos. It looks like something you'd give to a kid, because the colors are designed to be super colorful, as if this is a child's toy. And speaking of children's toys, that's exactly what most of the weapons in the game look like. Just take a look at some of the guns in the game. They literally look like they've been built out of some sort of generic knockoff kids' Legos. Seriously, what are these weapons? Are we supposed to think these look cool? But don't worry, you've got your choice of a number of different characters known as shells, and all but one of them are outright ugly and unattractive. The only one that's halfway decent is basically just a dude in armor. It looks similar to Halo armor, not identical, but basically it's a guy totally armored up from head to toe, so you can't even see what he looks like. All the other characters, well, the parts that you can see, not very good looking. I know they're going for a sci-fi, maybe even cyberpunk aesthetic here, but I think they failed in all regards because none of these characters really look good at all. So then you have to ask yourself, who's going to want to buy cosmetics for ugly characters? We saw that with Concord. Nobody wants cosmetics for ugly characters. And for a live service game like Marathon, you're going to need to keep bringing in the revenue. You're not going to have enough people continually buying the game at $40, so you're going to need your current players to buy microtransactions, and many of those will be cosmetics. Another question developers should ask themselves as a litmus test is, will gamers want to cosplay as the characters in our game. And in the case of Marathon, I don't think they asked that question, because nobody is going to want to cosplay as these characters. That may not sound important. It's not so much that gamers are doing this cosplay of the characters, it's that the characters are attractive and interesting enough that people want to do stuff with these characters outside of the game, to cosplay as them, to make fan art, to do all sorts of other things, to even hit that dreaded Rule 34. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. But how is the actual gameplay? Well, I have to tell you, it's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's okay. It's okay for what it is. There are several issues with it, but the basic gunplay and movement feels decent enough. However, it doesn't feel Apex Legends level. It just doesn't seem like it rises to the level of what you would expect from Bungie. The game has several issues, one of which is the fact that when you're running, if you overheat, you basically have to wait a really long time before you can run again. It's essentially a kind of stamina system. Another problem is that you're constantly looking for ammo because you're always running out of this stuff. Even though there's a ton of loot in the game, you run around looting all sorts of stuff, not knowing what any of the loot is for the most part. One piece of loot that you'll rarely find is ammunition. And the fact that you can't find any ammunition is a huge frustration, because that means you can't shoot at other enemies or players. And yes, there are lots of AI robots in this game. So you quickly run out, given that many AI robots take more than an entire magazine to take down. You're running out of ammo and all you're left with is this knife. Who wants to run around knifing people or knifing robots with no actual ammunition? Not me, and I doubt you do either. You also die really quickly. By the time I know I'm being hit, I'm dead. So when I encounter another player, if I don't get the drop on that player, there's a likelihood I'm gonna die and not even realize I was getting shot at. You die way too quickly, even though you have both shields and health. You have the opportunity to heal yourself or restore your shields, but every time I'd use a healing item, it only heal a tiny little bit of the bar, less than what I think I took in damage from a single shot from another player. I gotta tell you, the general reception to this game doesn't look great. I'm not the primary audience for this game. I'm not a fan of extraction shooters. I like some first-person shooters, but I'm not a big first-person shooter guy. So what do extraction shooter fans think of this game? Well, from what I've seen online on YouTube and on X, they seem genuinely unimpressed for the most part. I see very few people saying anything positive about the game, other than the fact that there are the left-wingers, the woke crowd out there constantly saying to stop hating on games. If you don't like the game, just don't say anything and let other people enjoy it. Well, we're not stopping anyone from enjoying it, and you can't stop us from sharing our opinions. I will say this game came out much better than Highguard, both in the numbers and how well it plays. Can't say that it necessarily looks better, it looks different, but it has a lot of issues in the visual realm, as we've discussed, the fact that it's all Fisher-Price themed, but that may have something to do with the fact that the game's creative director as well as the game director both prominently feature pronouns in their official communications. It's a huge red flag when someone who has a prominent position in developing a game is all about pronouns. I could talk a lot more about the game, but like I said, I'm not really that big into this style of game. I only downloaded and played it because it was free and it was the talk of the town, so to speak. So I'd like to know, what do you guys think about Marathon? Do I think it has a chance to succeed? Well, I think it'll do a lot better than Highguard did. I think it'll do okay for a little bit, but I don't think it's going to last very long. It hasn't unseated Arc Raiders as many people claimed it would. It's not even doing as well as Arc Raiders is, and that game's been out for a while now. So it looks like Marathon overall is going to be considered a flop by the developer and publisher, but that remains to be seen. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and if you like this video, make sure to like it, leave a comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Later, everybody.